Hello, today we're going to work on lesson 38 and we're going to first answer the questions below by looking at the pictures. So let's look at number 1. How many cubes did it take to measure 2 toothbrushes? So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So 4.5 equals to 1 toothbrush. And there are toothbrushes, so we need to add 4.5 plus 4.5. And we can also count it, and 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. So it would be 4 plus 4 plus 1. 4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 plus 1 is 9. So 9 cubes is the answer for number 1. And we can also count it, and if we count it, it also equals to 9. So we can check it through counting. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 says, how many cubes did it take to measure 3 highlighters? So 1 highlighter equals to 1 cube. So we can do 1 plus 1 plus 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So 3 cubes is the answer for number 2. Let's move on to the next page. For this page, we have addition and subtraction, and we are going to use addition or subtraction to solve each problem. Let's look at number 1. For number 1, it says 19 minus 13. So we need to always subtract the numbers that are on the ones place and then move on to the tens place. And 9 minus 3 is 6, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Therefore, 6 is the answer for number 1. Let's look at number 2. For number 2, we have addition this time, but we also have to add the numbers that are on the ones place and then move on to the tens place again. So 2 plus 6 is 8, and 5 plus 0 is 5. Therefore, 58 is the answer for number 2. Let's move on to number 5. For number 5, it says 15 plus 6. So 5 plus 6 is 11. However, we need to write 1 on the bottom and 1 on the top because one of the numbers are on the ones place and one of them is on the tens place. So now 1 plus 1 is 2. So 21 is the answer for number 5. Let's look at number 7. For number 7, we have subtraction, and we need to first subtract the numbers that are on the ones place. However, 5 is greater than 0, so we need to borrow from 3, which becomes 2, and 0 becomes 10. Now, 10 minus 5 is 5, and 2 minus 1 is 1. Therefore, 15 is the answer for number 7. Let's look at number 10. For number 10, again, we have subtraction, and 9 is greater than 8, and so we need to borrow from 2, which becomes 1, and 8 becomes 18. Now, 9 minus 18 is, if we subtract 9 from 18, then we get 9, and 1 minus 0 is 1. So 19 is the answer for number 10. Let's move on to the next page. For this page, we have number line diagram, and we need to use the number line diagram and write an equation. Let's look at number 1. For number 1, the lowest number is 12, and the highest number that the arrow is pointing to is 17. So we need to write 12 since it's the lowest number that is under the arrow. So now we need to count other points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So since there were 5 other points, instead of the first one, we need to add 5 more to 12. So 12 plus 5 is 17. So 17 is the answer for number 1. For number 2, we have subtraction because the arrow is going towards the left. So this time we need to write 35 first. And then now we need to count the rest of the points, 34, 33, and so on. And if we count it all, we get 7. So now we need to subtract 7 from 35, which becomes 28. And also, although we don't count it, we can know the answer by looking at the highest one and the lowest one that is under the arrow. Let's look at number 3. For number 3, the lowest number that is under the arrow is 24. And the highest one is 27. And now if we count it, 1, 2, 3, there are 3 more points. So 24 plus 3 is 27. So 27 is the answer for number 3. Let's move on to the next page. For this part, we have word problems. Let's look at number 1. For number 1, it says, Emma is having a party with her friends. She makes 20 hot dogs and 12 hamburgers. How many hot dogs and hamburgers does she make in all? So we need to add 20 and 12 in order to know the total. So 0 plus 2 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So 32 is the answer for number 1. Thank you.